In this video, I'm going to share with you my 8 years of trading psychology experience in 19 minutes. I guarantee that I'm going to be addressing every single one of the issues you may be experiencing within your own trading psychology. And I'm going to give you actionable steps on how to fix those issues so that you can 10x your trading profits. Because 80% of your trading success is down to trading psychology. It is absolutely vital. For those of you that are new here, my name's Liam and I've been trading FX and equities for the last 8 years. I make on average $35,000 per month after mastering these psychology issues. I'm also a mathematics and finance graduate from Newcastle University, and I quit my corporate job 2 years ago to go into full-time trading. And so I really want to share with you everything that I've learned along the way. And so with that being said, let's dive into the video. So this is 8 years of trading psychology in 19 minutes. And the one biggest problem that I see is everybody's saying that you should be trading without emotions and that you should be trading like an algorithm. And this is the worst trading advice in the world. At the end of the day, we are all human. So we are naturally going to get emotions that are presenting in the market. And so the one thing that you need to learn is how to control emotions. Understand that emotions are natural. Humans are not really designed to trade. Trading is sort of going against human nature. And so I don't believe in suppressing emotions or trying to push them to the side. But I do believe that we are all human. We are going to get emotions. And so the one thing that we need to learn is how can we control them? These emotions primarily fit into 2 different buckets. And the first emotion is greed. And then in a few minutes' time, I'm going to get on to the second emotion. So greed is the number one reason why traders fail. What I'm going to show you is how these emotions are presenting and how we can fix them. So the first way that greed appears in your trading is through overtrading. And this is where you're forcing profits and trades that are just not there. So the one way that we can fix overtrading is by having a trading plan. So every single day when you're turning up to the markets, you should know 1, what you want to see, and 2, executing that plan flawlessly. So the reason that traders are overtrading or forcing profits or taking trades that are just not there is because they don't have a plan to begin with. So when you have a very detailed, succinct plan covering all aspects of trading, then all of a sudden, everything just becomes black and white. Either, yes, your trade sets up, or no, your trade does not set up. And so there's no kind of middle ground to where you may hesitate or force a trade that is not your plan. The second way that greed transpires into your trading is through overleveraging. And this is one's desire to catch one big trade. And this often leads you to blowing your entire trading account. And this is really like going for that home run trade. You're literally trying to let one trade define you as a trader. And what I recommend you to do to fix this is to understand that your job as a trader is to take small, repeatable, bite-sized pieces out of the market over and over and over again. So our job as a trader is to not take these huge trades, these one trades that you see all over YouTube that are defining an individual or defining one individual trader. But your goal is to trade your repeatable system that is backed up by years of data, often using a fixed risk to reward that is proven over and over and over again. So when you take away the focus from this one big trade and you start focusing on the consistency of taking small repeatable trades, that will then prevent you from overleveraging. So the third thing is revenge trading. And the most common way that I see somebody revenge trading is you take multiple losses in a row. What that then leads you to do is you doubt yourself, you hesitate, and as a result, what you do is you miss a winning trade. And then because you've missed a winner, what you end up doing is forcing a trade. You start taking trades that, again, are not your trading plan, looking at chasing or making back them profits. So this is really the equivalent of taking a C or a B class setup and you're not an A plus trade. It's not your highest probability setup. And so you force it. And as a result, you revenge trade and you take more losses. So there's 2 steps to fixing revenge trading. Number 1 is understanding that there is always another trade around the corner. So because you missed a trade today, maybe you had a losing trade, whatever it may be, you understand that there's gonna be another trade. This might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be in a week's time, but you're not gonna force it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna sit on your hands, you're gonna pick up your checklist, right? And you're gonna wait for your rules to line up. And then when they line up, you're gonna execute without hesitation. And so the second way to stop yourself revenge trading is having conviction in your trading strategy. So when you have conviction in a trading strategy, you believe in the trading strategy. And so even though you've took a few losses in a row, you're then going to refrain from revenge trading because you believe in your trading strategy. You have conviction in your trading strategy. So as a result, that will prevent you from forcing trades and taking low probability setups that are not valid trades. The 4th way that you're greedy in the market is impatience. And this is that your only focus is money. So you're not interested in becoming a skilled technician. So what I need you to understand, and I was guilty of this 8 years ago when I first started trading, is I got into trading and thought it was all about the Lamborghinis and the money and all of the material things. And then what I've realized from 8 years of trading experience is that money is just a byproduct of following my system and my rules. So the one day that I switched from money-oriented trading to my ultimate goal is to follow my trading plan to the absolute T, that was the day that my focus shifted from making money, and then my focus was literally shifted to, okay, can I execute my strategy flawlessly? And I know if I can do that long term, money is a byproduct of successful plan following. It's a byproduct of that habit that you're doing on a daily basis, compounding long term. So I get it. All here, we all want to make money. It's often why most people get into this industry. And so it seems counterintuitive to tell you to, focus on the money. But I encourage you to be more interested in learning the skills and learning a profitable, proven system, as opposed to caring about individual outcomes or profits on one single trade. The 5th way that greed may be transpiring into your trading is holding trades too long. So this is really where you ignore your exit plan. So because you want a home run trade. So this is really down that same rabbit hole of where you're letting one trade define you as a trader. And again, this is where money is sort of filtering back into your emotions. And that's ultimately why you're exiting late. Because your system may tell you, it's optimal for you to take a 1 to 2 risk to reward. But then as soon as you're at a 1 to 2, you're like, we can stretch this. 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. And then you might be up $2,000 and you're like, you're going to get to $8, $10, $15,000. That's greed. So really it is about stop caring about the money. What does your system and what does your plan say? That is what you should be doing as a trader. The one thing to fix holding too long is by adopting a fixed mechanical repeatable 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 risk to reward. And then it's up to you, test this data and understand, on my strategy and my system, what is optimal? And then you're looking at, it's optimal based on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades and years and years and years of data. And then you make your trading decision based off the fact that this is what is optimal, rather than, I'm greedy and I want to go for a home run because I said so. Well, remember, the market doesn't care about you. The market doesn't care about me. The market does not care about anybody. And so this leads me on to the second emotion. And the second emotion is fear. And really, this is like the opposite of greed, right? Greed, you're looking at the money, you're looking at the profits. Whereas fear, you're looking at sort of downside. What is the sort of negative implications? And so the first way that fear is transpiring into your trading is the fear of being wrong. So ultimately, what I found is that a lot of the time it's your ego that is stopping you from being profitable, meaning that you have a strong desire to be right than to actually make money. So you could be in like a social network, maybe it's your friends, maybe it's the community you're in, and you're so bothered about the outcome of one individual trade that you're actually trading that for and against profitability. So you care more about, want to show my friends that I'm a great trader because this trade was a winning trade. And so you're almost like to prove yourself to your friends or your community or whoever it may be. Maybe it's to yourself. And so the one way to fix the fear of being wrong is literally get okay with losing trades. Understand that losing is part of the game. You basically need to be very good at losing. You need to be very comfortable with losing. So what you actually need to understand is there is no such thing as being right or wrong in the market. And so what only matters is that you're looking at the markets based on a professional trader. And all that we care about is, did I follow my plan to the absolute T? I don't care about the outcome of an individual trade. That is never going to define you as a trader. I'm not bothered about being right or wrong. You should be bothered about, okay, did I follow my trading plan to the absolute T? And because we're trading probabilities and they transpire into random distributions, which means that we don't know the individual outcome of an individual trade, which means that you can think that you're right, but you could have took a bad trade. You could have took a trade that deviated from your plan, but it was a winning trade. Well, that's not right because you've gone against your trading plan. And so I recommend, ego, it's not about being right or wrong. The second way that fear is transpiring is the fear of losing. So what often happens is you hesitate on high quality setups or you second guess yourself. And often the reason that you're second guessing yourself, right, is because you don't have conviction or belief in your trading strategy. So there's two ways to fix the fear of losing. The first way is to build conviction. How do we do that? Well, we backtest our strategy over years and years and years of data and over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades in a controlled trading environment. Meaning that every single trade pretty much looks the same because you're following a checklist, you're following rules. And so that will build trading conviction. The second way to prevent the fear of losing is to build trading belief. How do you build belief in a trading system? You look at the future. So this is really what is built through experience. So this is the experience of trading a strategy over the long term, let's say 6 months time, and you're looking back at today. Maybe there's been multiple instances where you've climbed out of drawdown. Maybe there's times which were very tough. You had multiple losses in a row, maybe 4, 5, 6 losses in a row. And what did you do? Well, you still followed the plan without hesitation. And you're looking back 6 months to a year later, and you're profitable. You've made an income. You've made profits. And through them experiences, you've gained so much knowledge. And so you build conviction from the past, but you build belief from the future and from experience trading that system. And that will prevent you from hesitating. That will prevent you from trying to force trades in the market because you know what you want to see. And it's only once you've built that belief in the markets to where all of a sudden you don't hesitate. You know what you want to see. You know what a high quality A+ setup is. And as a result, you don't second guess yourself. The third way that fear is input into your trading is FOMO. And this is really the fear of missing out on a trade. But in particular, this could be the trade of the year. So you break your trading plan and you overtrade. And so this is linking to that home run trade, right? You're going for that huge trade of the year that's going to be the one. It's going to define you as a trader. That is all BS. And as a result, you're just breaking the plan over and over and over again, sort of that this trade is the one, hoping that this is going to be the home run. This is going to be the trade of the year. And so the one way to fix fear of missing out, which I dealt with for over 5 years, is to understand that you're not missing anything. When you're trading a rules-based, mechanical, fully defined checklist, if that checklist or them rules do not present themselves in the market, you are not missing anything because your rules and your strategy, it didn't present. And that reverts back to the framework of trades being black and white. Either yes, your trade sets up, or no, your trade does not set up. There's no in between. And so you're never in that state of mind of missing out. Another way to improve your fear of missing out is understanding that 95% of the time you are going to be sitting on your hands. And only maybe 1 to 5% of the time you're actually going to be pulling the trigger and executing in the market. So you need to get extremely comfortable with a no trading day. This is the one thing that will give you the greatest return on investment when it comes to getting your trading to the next level. So understanding that it is okay to have a no trading day. What you realize is professionals are not in the market all of the time. They are very selective with the trading setups that they are taking. And most of the time you are going to be sat there at your desk, going about your day sitting on your hands. And only under very specific conditions is when you actually should be executing. So for example, I get around 3 A+ trades per week. So that means already based on the data from what I know, right, 2 of them days I'm going to be sat on my hands. So already before I've even placed a trade, I've prepared myself that 2 out of 5 days I will not be taking a trade historically based on data, right? And because we're trading random distributions, like I don't know when the trades are going to be setting up. You could get 5 trades this week, 1 trade next week. That's a random distribution. But already understanding that it's okay to have a no trading day or a no trading week, not because you feel like it, but because there was just no trades that set up. I see traders they're going, oh, I'm going to take December out. I don't want to trade it. Whatever, low volume, this and that is somebody trading based on hope or based on cope. So there's a huge difference between somebody just not wanting to trade versus somebody sitting on the sidelines who is actually following a plan or a system. So like December, we had a 11R month. We had an unbelievable month. And how did we do that? Well, I just followed the plan to the T. I just kept executing over and over again. When my rules and my checklist presented, I executed. And this leads me on to number 4, which is the fear of not being enough. So what often happens is you lack confidence and you therefore switch strategies. So this is really strategy hopping because you think that there may be something better out there. So this is really like that kind of Jack syndrome. You're always chasing your tail. You're looking for the next holy grail, which does not exist. And so the one reason why have this fear of not being enough is because you're not content in your trading strategy. So the one fix that I realized was the most important way to fix the fear of not being enough is to stop comparing yourself to other people. Understand that you are in your own lane. So just because another trader on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, they had a winning trade today, maybe you had a losing trade, maybe you didn't have a trade. And so what people are doing is they're comparing themselves to other people. And so what you're actually doing is you're looking very tunnel vision. You're in the very short-term vision. What I actually recommend you to do is zoom out. I need you to have that longer-term time horizon and understand that you're in your own lane. It doesn't matter what other people are doing or trading or executing or what their profits were today or tomorrow, etc. What is important is, can you stick to a profitable, proven system long-term, zoom out and have that longer-term time horizon, and to literally just execute your plan flawlessly for the next 6 months to 12 months time. Rather than getting caught up in the short term of one individual trade or one individual day, and again, letting that define you as a trader. So understand, there's not a holy grail strategy out there. There's literally no such thing. And we are all pretty much trading a very similar version. Strategies are different sort of variations of the same thing, which is trend following, an entry model, a invalidation and take profit. And all strategies are pretty much just different variations of these 3 things. So understand that you are enough. Whether you have a losing month or a break-even month, that is okay. That is normal. That is part of trading. And what often happens with fear of not being enough is you might have 3, 4, 5 losses in a row. You strategy hop, right? And then the strategy that you were trading before starts performing again, and you see that. And what do? You come rushing back in, trading the strategy when it's actually outperforming again. Well, that's actually a very bad time to be coming back to a system. So that is the two emotions that are controlling you as a trader. Number one is greed. Number two is fear. And so if you want to take your trading to the next level, where I hold your hand every step of the way, where I take you under my wing, where you trade live with me every single day, and you want to become a consistently profitable trader, where you're looking at your trading from a long-term time horizon, then make sure to check out my exclusive community or my one-on-one mentorship. The link is in the description down below. I also do free live trading, so I encourage you to check out the free community. There's also a free course inside there. The link is in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for your time and support, and you take care. Bye-bye.